What's up everybody, welcome to the channel, and in today's video we are going to discuss about setters and property decorators in Python. Now we have discussed about abstract methods and so many concepts in the OOPS concept, and this video is going to be really special because I'll be talking about how you can use different methods in the OOPS concept in order to do different things. So in order to show you, I'm quickly going to make a new Python file right here, and I'll name this Python file as setters underscore decorators. I'll write deck, and after that I'll click on enter, and as you can see that my Python file is open. So basically right now I'm going to make a new class and I'll name it as employee. So I'm going to write class employee, and after that I'm going to define some constructors and some functions. So I will write def underscore underscore init, and then I will take his first name as an input. So I'll write first n, and after that I'll take the last name as an input. So I'll write last n. After that I'll define some instance variables of this object. So I'll write self dot f name is equal to first n, and after that I'll write self dot l name is equal to last n. So I'm going to write last n, and after that I'm going to make an email of this person as well. So right now I'll make a function. I will talk about the email after I make that function. So I'm going to write a function right here. I'll write def print details, and after that I'm just going to return a string that gives the details of the employee. So I'm going to write the name of the employee is, and then I'm going to make the use of f string. So I'm going to write self dot f name, and after that I'm going to write self dot n name. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to wrap this, and I'll make a new object of this employee class. So I'm going to name him as Rohan and underscore Mehra. So I'm going to name this object as Rohan Mehra, and after that I'm going to give him the employee class. So inside the employee class we basically have to give the first name. So Rohan's first name is Rohan, and after that Rohan's last name is Mehra. So Rohan Mehra is basically a subscriber of this channel, and he has been active in all of the videos. He has been commenting as well. So right here Rohan Mehra is an employee. His first name will become Rohan and his L name will become the Mehra. So after this I can use Rohan Mehra in order to run the print detail function. So I'm going to write Rohan Mehra dot print details, and after that I will just run this program right here. So as you can see, it will not print anything because I haven't print the function right here. So I'll write print, and after that if I rerun this program, it will give me the name of the employee is Rohan Mehra. So perfect, we got what we wanted. But for example guys, if I want my employee class to generate a email of the object as well, that is if it gets self dot f name, and after that if it gets self dot l name, I wanted to generate an email of that object as well. So for that what I can do is that I can make an a instance variable of that object, and I can name it as email. So I can write self dot email, and then what I can do is that I can make an f string. So I'll write f, and then I will write f name first n, and after that I will write dot last name last n, and then what I can do is that I can write an at the rate, and after that I can write code with unch.com. So right here I've basically made a simple email that will initialize the instance variable named email of that object to first n dot last n at the rate code with unch.com. So now I can use this instance variables, that is I can print it. So I can write Rohan Mehra dot email, and then if I run this program, you know that it will print Rohan dot Mehra at the rate code with unch.com. Nothing rocket science, it's simple. It just initialized its instance variable. So after this, for example, if Rohan, if he tells me that I have changed my name to, for example, Lewis because I like Lewis Hamilton, and that is not how changing of name works guys. But yeah, let's take an example that if he wants to change his name to Lewis Hamilton because his favorite F1 driver is Lewis Hamilton, so what he can do is that we can basically write Rohan Mehra dot first name is equal to Lewis. So I can write that, and after that I'll print the email of Rohan first of all. So I will write Rohan Mehra dot email, and after printing that I will change his first name to Lewis, and then I will write print dot Rohan Mehra dot email. Now, as you can see guys, that I have written print Rohan Mehra dot email before changing his name to Lewis, and after changing his name to Lewis, I have again printed his email. Now I want you guys to think about it and write your comments down and your views down in the comment section below, that if I change his first name to Lewis, will his email be changed into lewis.mehra@codewithansh.com? Just pause the video and think for a second and write down your answers in the comment section below. I like you to please interact with me and interact on this channel, because that's how we are going to learn in this playlist. And guys, I hope that you paused the video and you commented down your answer. So if I run this program, first of all let me tell you that it won't happen. Why? Because if I run this program, as you can see that it has printed Rohan Mehra @codewithansh.com, and after that, even if I changed his first name, that is Lewis, it has again printed Rohan dot Mehra @codewithansh.com. Now guys, why has this happened? What is the reason why it hasn't changed his first name into Lewis? The reason is that while it was running, that is while the program inside its runtime, it initialized the instance variable email beforehand. That is, even if we change his first name, it won't affect the instance variable named email. That is, the email variable, it won't change itself. So for that purpose guys, I can make the use of property. Now what is property guys? We can make the use of property with the use of decorators, and if you haven't watched the video of decorators, the link will be in the description of that video. But guys, basically we'll use the decorators in order to make the property variable of email. Now I won't be using the email as an instance variable of this object. Basically I will make it as a property of this object, because as you can see guys, that whenever we want to change the first name of that object named Lewis, and we named Rohan into Lewis, it didn't change its email because it was declared before the changing of the first name. So for that purpose, what I can do is that I can write @property. I can write @property, and after that I can define a function that has the name of the property I want to name it. So I can write def email, and after that I'll write self, and then I will basically cut this statement and I will remove this self dot email. And what I can write is that I can write self dot email. Sorry, I won't write self dot email. Basically I'll write return, and then I will just return this string right here. So I will have to write self dot f name. So I'll write self dot f name, and after that what I'll do is that I'll write self dot l name. So I'll write self dot l name, and right here I'll have to write self dot l name. And then what I can do right here is that now if I rerun this program, as you can see guys, that it has given me rohan.mehra@codewithansh.com, and then after we have changed his first name, it has now given us lewis.mehra@codewithansh.com. So guys, what happened basically, what change occurred right here? First of all, when we wrote Rohan underscore Mehra employee, Rohan Mehra, what happened is that it initialized the instance variables f name and l name, and after that when we wrote print Rohan underscore Mehra dot email, this statement right here, it invoked the property function, that is def email self, and after that we returned f self dot f name and self dot l name @codewithansh.com inside this function. So basically that was printed in this line, and after that when I changed the f name of Rohan Mehra to Lewis, what happened is that after I changed the f name, and after that when I called email of Rohan Mehra, it again invoked that email function. And now as you guys know that self dot f name will be Lewis, because we have basically changed the f name itself. So after that it will print lewis.mehra@codewithansh.com. So that's how guys we are invoking the instance variable of that object. We are not initializing it, we are basically making a function for it, and after that we are invoking it. Now for example, if I want the f name and the l name to change on the basis of the email, what I can do is that I can make a setter. Now for example, let me give you a concrete example. I'll comment everything out right here, and after that I'll basically print the email of Rohan, and after that what I can do is that if I want Rohan underscore Mehra dot email to be equal to something that is equal to this dot that at the rate code with ansh.com. And after that, if I want that the first name of Rohan it changes into this, and after that the last name of Rohan it changes into that, because basically I have written Rohan underscore Mehra dot email is equal to this dot that at the rate code with ansh.com. So his last name should be equal to this that, and his first name should be equal to this. So what I can do for that is that if I run this program right here, first of all, as you can see that it will give me an error. It will show me that it cannot set an attribute, it cannot set his email like this. So guys, we'll have to basically make a setter for it. Now a setter is also used as a decorator, so I can write at the rate, and after that whatever property you want of that object. So I'll write email, and then I can write at the rate email dot setter, and now I can write def email, and after that I'll have to put a function right here. So as you can see that I have written at the rate email dot setter, that is I will be able to set the email property of that object. So I can write I'll take a string as an instance, so I will take the string as a parameter, so I'll write string. And after that what I can do is that I can make the use of the split function. Now I want to access this and that from this string that I have given inside this function. So for that what I can do is that I can split this string with the use of this ampersand, this at the rate symbol, and after that I'll get a list that contains this dot that, and after that I'll get a list that contains code with ansh.com. Now I need to access this dot that, and after that I will split it with this this dot right here. So after this I will get this in the first element of the list, and after that I'll get that as the second element of the list. So after this what I can write is that I can write names is equal to string dot split, and then I can write at the rate right here. Now if I print this names list, as you can see that if I run this program it will print the list. So it has printed this dot that and code with ansh.com, and then I can use this dot that in order to access the first name and the last name. So I will write self dot f name is equal to names dot split, and then I will split it with a dot, and after that I'll access the zeroth one. So I'll write 0, and basically I'll have to write name 0 because it is a list. And after that what I'll do is that I'll write self dot lname is equal to name dot split 1. Now if I rerun this program right here, as you can see that it will print this dot that. So basically I'll have to remove this, and if I write and basically I'll have to remove this. So if I write that I am setting it, so I will print right here that setting the variable or the property. So I'll write setting the property, and then what I can do is that after I've initialized this email I will be able to print Rohan underscore Mehra dot lname dot fname, and after that I'll print Rohan underscore Mehra.lname. Now if I rerun this program, as you can see that it has initialized the lname and fname to this and that, and that's what I wanted. I wanted the program to change its instance variable based on its email that I provide. That is, if I set the email, for example, if I set the email to vic.that, I'll write vic.sing. So if I set the email to vic.sing at the rate codewithansh.com, I wanted the program to change the first name and the last name with respect to that. So now if I rerun this program, it invoked the setter property that we just initialized right here. It invoked that function, and after that what it did is that it printed setting the property, as you can see right here that it printed setting the property, and then it used the split function. Now I have talked about the split function many times in my videos, and basically the split function it just gives you a list that contains the splitted strings. So I've split the function the string with the help of an at the rate symbol, and after that I have accessed the first element of the list, and after that I had initialized the objects instance variables, that is fname and lname, into these type of splitted strings. So so after that we got vic, and after that we got sing right here. So that's what we wanted, guys. And now for example, if Vic, he tells me that no, I don't want my email, that is, please delete my email, I don't want it in your database. So for that, what I can do is that I can make the use of the del keyword. So I can write del Rohan Mehra dot email, and now if I rerun this program, as you can see that it has printed that we cannot delete this attribute. Now why it can't delete its attribute? Because this is a property, we'll have to define a function for its property in order to delete it as well. So for that purpose, what I can do is that I can make a decorator function. For that, I can write at the rate email dot deleter. I can write at the rate email dot deleter, and after that I can write def email, and then what I can do is that I can basically write self dot fname is equal to none, and then I can write self dot lname is equal to none. Now if I rerun this program, as you can see that it won't give me an error, because we have basically deleted the property of the variable. And after that, if I put this delete after I have initialized vic dot sync, I'm sorry, I copied the wrong statement. So if I copy this, if I cut this, and after that if I put it right here, and if I rerun this program, as you can see that it will print none none, and basically it has printed nothing. So I will now print the Rohan Mehra dot email, and if I rerun this program right here, as you can see that it will print none dot none at the rate codewithansh.com. So now if we have an first name and a last name as none, do we want that email to print it as none dot none at the rate codewithansh.com? No, right? So for that purpose, what we can do is that we can make changes into that email function. So I'll go back to my first email function, and after that I can write an if statement. So I can write if self dot fname is equal to none, or self dot lname is equal to none. And if we get this, so we'll have to return this email does not exist. So I will return this statement, that is, if the first name of the object is none, or if the last name of the object is none, it will have to return that this email does not exist. Now if I rerun this program and if I try to run it, as you can see that it has printed that this email does not exist, because when we write Rohan underscore Mehra dot email, we are basically invoking the function, the property function, in order to just update all of the self dot fname and all of the self dot lname, and after that it has to print it. So that's why I had made changes into the property function, and that's why it has printed this email does not exist. So I hope guys that you understood how we can use property and setters, decorators in Python, then how we use the deleter for a particular property of that object right here, and how we used everything. So I hope guys that you understood everything in today's video. If you haven't accessed my Python for Absolute Beginners playlist, the link will be in the description. Now I'll just give you a short overview of what I have done right here, what I meant to do. Basically what I meant to do is that I wanted an employee class, that is a Rohan, an employee class that has these functions, that is a constructor, and after that print details functions. Now I had initialized a Rohan Mehra object right here, and then I wrote underscore Mehra dot email. Now for example, if Rohan underscore Mehra, if Rohan tells me that I have changed my name into Lewis, what I can do is that I can write Rohan underscore Mehra dot fname is equal to Lewis, and then if I rerun his an email right here, it was printing Rohan dot Mehra at the rate codewithansh.com. That I didn't want to happen. So for that purpose, I had to make a property function right here that invoked it whenever I tried to access that email property of that object. So I made that function right here, and whenever I wrote Rohan underscore Mehra dot email, it used to update self dot fname and self dot lname itself, and after that it used to print the updated version of it. So for that it printed Lewis dot Rohan Mehra at the rate codewithansh.com, and after that what I wanted was is that whenever I change my email, that is whenever I write for example vic.sing _codewithansh.com inside the Rohan Mehra object, I wanted it to change its first name and its last name accordingly. So for that purpose I made a setter right here, and then I used the split function in order to just initialize the first name and the last name of that object. Then I wanted to delete the email, and for that I made an email deleter and I initialized the first name and the last name of that object as none. So I hope guys that you understood everything in today's video. This was just a short overview that I wanted to give you in order to just make the things clear for you. And thank you so much guys for watching this video. I hope you're safe and I'll see you next time.